How are you friends? Nothingwired.com, and you're looking at the new Xolo Q2000. It's the 5.5 inch monster from the Indian company, and we're gonna give you a quick look at the unboxing and like what's in the box and stuff, and the hardware, the software, the apps, performance, and at last hopefully we'll be able to tell you whether it's worth your time and money. So let's get started. You see, pretty compact box for that size of a phone. You have some quick specs right here. I'm gonna show them to you in a bit. You have the pricing information here. It says 18,000, about 18,000 Indian rupee, but you'd get it for a little cheaper online. You have your quad-core 1.2 gig, a MediaTek processor. You have a Power VR GPU. You have a 5.5 inch HD IPS screen. So let's check out what's in the box, and it has a nice little thread here to pull that out. We've already opened the box. I'm just gonna show you what's inside. So you have this matte cover over the phone, and there you see you've been using this for some time. You see straight away it's very glossy and attracts a lot of fingerprints, and it's mighty. Yeah, so you're gonna come back to it later. Then you have a flip cover there. Then you also have a couple of screen guards here, and then when you go still inside, you will find that nicely segregated are the wall charger there, and then you have your earphones, flat wired, only have the mic, and yep, the call connecting here and disconnecting, but no volume control. You have a silver plated audio jack here, a nice noise cancelling type. Yep, on this side you have the quick start guide here. Yeah, and then you have your micro USB data cable, and that's about it. All those are the pouches and stuff. Yeah, so you're gonna keep these aside, and you're gonna come back to our phone. You can say that I told you it's a mighty device. It's no way a thin device. It's 5.5 inch, but it has big bezels on top and bottom. It's also about 9.5 mm thin, so that's certainly not what you call a thin device. So it will make its presence felt in your pocket, but we'll come back to the hardware just in a bit. The body of the Xolo Q2000 is almost everything plastic, and then you have this nice little rubber coating on the back, and then your IPS glass, of course. The plastic is of premium quality, but it actually feels like plastic, and not one of those where the plastic is so hard it feels like polycarbonate or almost metal. It feels like plastic. It crackles, it makes sounds when you press everywhere, but yeah, it's tightly knit, and it looks premium at least. Yeah, you have this nice, very cool bronze touch metallic finish, plastic of course, on the sides here, and then your edge to edge glass design, and then the back flap is quite thin. I'm gonna show that to you. That's 5.5 inch HD screen, 1280 by 720 pixels. You have a 2 MP front camera, your earpiece, and the sensor will be here, and then your 3 hotkeys: the back, home button, and the menu button. On this side you have the volume rocker here, and then nothing here. On the right side you only have the power button, and then your micro USB 2.0 port and the 3.5 mm jack. Behind you have the 13 MP autofocus camera. You see it's kind of sticking out, mainly because I don't know, I've seen other 13 MP cameras which did not actually need to stick out, but I don't know, maybe they put more glass in it. and then you have an LED flash, the Xolo branding, and then your speaker grill. Now overall the phone looks quite premium and more than decent, and it also fits nicely into your hands. But there are some design elements in particular that I want to point out. Number one is that the speaker grill here is right on a flat back, so the moment you press it on a flat surface here, the sound will be obstructed. Number two is this buttons here, this one and this one are not exactly sticking out. Now I understand Xolo's motive of making it look like a straight line, but then because they are like almost, you know, sitting at their groove and they're like not coming out, pressing them needs that extra effort. You know, you need to first fish for them and then you need to really press them. You'll of course become used to once you start using this device, but that is slight discomfort. And then I'm gonna take off the back, and it's a very thin sheet of plastic, and actually every time we took this off we actually feared it might just break off, but it did not. It looks quite thin. Then you have your 2600 mAh battery here, 2 SIMs, full size, your micro SD card slot. Another designed element that we did not like is that to remove each one of these, including the micro SD card, you need to remove the battery. At least the micro SD card or bonus, the second SIM could have been you know, set to remove without having to remove the battery. That would have saved a lot of time for a lot of people. So that's about the design and hardware. It no way looks rugged. It is not rugged. I'm sure if you drop it well enough it will break, but I mean, it looks premium, looks good, fits nicely into hand, and I think it could actually come out only slightly scattered from some unintentional drop. So overall, yeah, we like the device, but only those design elements could have been better. Now, as I told you, the Q2000 comes with an HD screen. It's an IPS screen. Now, an HD resolution, that is 1280 by 720 on a 5.5 inch screens, actually should be quite pixelated by today's standards. But then, because it's an IPS screen, and screen is I mean, it's quite sharp and bright, and when I actually tried to look at the camera icon here, because that's like my signature icon to look at whether it's pixelated, you can see that round lens part, it's not exactly pixelated, because if it had it been pixelated, you would have seen zagged ends on the round. You can still see very slight zagged ends. Yeah, so that's quite normal for an HD resolution on a 5.5 inch screen, but still I would say this particular screen is a lot better than some of the other HD screens on a large you know, HD resolution on a large screen that we've seen. Having said that, let's now come to the biggest disappointment we face with the Q2000, is that the touch is not exactly feathery. In fact, it's nowhere close to feathery. You see, for everything now I'm used to, so can do this, but once you're coming from premium devices like those of Samsungs and HTCs and Sonys, you would see that you would need a lot of time to get used to, you know, this particular screen, and you need to give that very slight deliberate push for almost all actions. Even when you're typing, because it's not a feathery smooth touch, so you cannot be exactly writing at lightning speed, because some letters might just skip off. You know, that's one of the things that we think could have been better, which is a core feature and which should have been better. But apart from that, let's check out some of the photos and videos, and we like the qualities and everything. Yeah, so we checked out the display and we checked it out on our color card, and the color actually were quite natural to look at on this display, although slightly brighter than expected. We're gonna go and play a video and you will see that they don't shutter or they don't lag, although the blacks are not very deep, mainly because of the less resolution. But overall, the video and photo quality on this screen is very pleasing to eye. Now we're going to talk about the user interface and performance. Now the Q2000 runs on Android 4.2.1 and Xolo has left mostly the vanilla Android ROM on this device. So you'll see mostly the whatever apps and tools you see are mostly the default form, in the vanilla form. There are no custom UI, not much that's put from the Xolo. So you have this home screen, and there are 5 home screen. You cannot add or edit this home screen. However, you can long press here and add only the wallpapers. You have your notification bar here. You can remove all just by tapping that button, otherwise you can just swipe them away. Then you have your quick function toggle bar here. Yeah, this app dock is customizable. You can have your most used apps here. You can also quickly create a folder that you can see and they will stay there. Yeah, that's your menu, and long pressing on this home key will take you to the recent menu app. Yeah, I don't have many widgets here, but in general the swiping is smooth with slight lag when you have all this laden with widgets we've tested there. Yeah, and that's your main menu. So we have some games installed here like Asphalt 8, Fruit Ninja, Beach Buggy and Nova Tree. Apart from these 4, all others are preloaded apps. So we're going to talk about the apps in a bit, but you can see it's pretty smooth. But because the touch is not very feathery, you have to deliberately give some force while doing any transaction. There's I accidentally pressed Dropbox. Yeah, and to add a widget, you can there's slight lag here and there. You can go to the widget menu and just long press, drag them to any home page, and it's gonna stay there. Let's quickly check out the settings first, and again typical Jelly Bean settings here. Yeah, vanilla. You have these many accounts that you can add, and the moment you start installing new apps, you can add those accounts here as well. You have about phone, you can see Q2000 4.2.1. Now for a device of this price point, I am very satisfied. I mean, you cannot expect much from a device. It's a very large screen, very smooth animation sense, slight lag here and there, and the display is quite nice. Good, so far so good. Now let's go ahead and check out some of the apps. So we'll check out the browser, and I have one of my favorite websites open, National Geographic, and you'll straight away see that it renders the web pages perfectly, mainly because it's almost the default browser on the vanilla ROM, which is a great browser, and it supports pinching zoom as well, although with some lag. Yeah, you see, it's not exactly lightning fast, mainly because of the touch nature of the screen. You can add your tabs from here, remove them as you want them to be, then oops, and then you can go to all these options and settings and all those stuffs. Yeah, now another thing I want to show you was the HTML5 test that we did. So it scores 404 out of 555, which was the usual vanilla default browser score that you've seen on other devices, so no surprises really. Then you have the 13 MP camera, and pretty straightforward, again vanilla interface. You have the auto mode here. You can also go to HDR simply by selecting it, or you have a portrait option, your panorama, multi-angle, scene mode, and then a smile mode, and then some other modes. You have all some stuffs, and then your settings out here. Still settings, you have a 0 shutter lag option there, continuous shot, and then your pixel size 13 MP, 8 MP. Now you see that's in 4:3 ratio, but if you want to go widescreen, it'll straight away come down to half, 6 MP. So I would suggest you keep the standard 4:3 aspect ratio, which is good enough, and then you have your video quality. Go ahead and see if it clicks a no lag picture. Quite fast because it has to acquire the focus, because nothing to focus on. Starts the video also in decent time. You can also click stills while recording video, although that's taking fair amount of time. Yeah, now we've checked the image and video quality. The images are quite detailed and natural saturation and hue under enough sunlight. We really like that Xolo is not trying to overdo the saturation to deliberately give the pictures a brighter look. However, under low light the details are missing, but which is quite common with the mid-budget phones. And apart from that, the ISO performance are also pretty average. The video details are again very good. The metering is very good, which is one thing that we like, and which is one thing that we find missing in many other similar category devices. The videos, the blacks are good. However, when you do a digital zoom, then the details are sadly missing, does not focus at all, but again that's common. But there's no foggy ends, there are no discoloration. So overall, photography and videography performance of the Xolo Q2000 is quite satisfactory, taking into consideration the price point of this device. Now let's check out some of the other apps. You see it's clearly lags at times. Now you again have the vanilla gallery. You can multi-select stuff and then share or delete. You can also go inside them and then do the same action here. You can arrange your albums or locations or time. Yeah. Then what else? So let's check out the music and try to play some songs. And we'll try to see some other songs. So you can see so nice output. So the music output is quite good via speakers, via earphones also. They are very decent, with more bass than via the speakers. Then you have the dialer here, nice big dialer. Nothing much to show because all like vanilla stuff. I've shown you the video performance, that's quite cool. So you have some of the Xolo's in-house apps like Xolo Care, Xolo Power and Xolo Secure, which are very useful, and I urge you use all of them. They are very useful and very nicely crafted, so they work quite well and does what they promises. Yeah, so that's about the apps out here. The call quality is great, but then the reception is not so strong in couple of places. For example, our second level basement or inside an elevator, but then it held the signal quite nicely while we're coming down the escape ladders. Let's check out the gameplay now on our Xolo Q2000, and we'll start with Fruit Ninja. It should play this game quite comfortably, although it has a MediaTek processor, which is not known to be a very good gamer's processor. However, these are simple games, and we'll start with simple games. By the way, it's gonna lag just a bit because this game downloads data in real time, but slowly you should see it smoothing up a bit. It's already starting to smooth up a bit. Yeah, so pretty smooth so far, and no problems whatsoever. Next, Beach Buggy Bleach. No frame loss during the movie play. Now let's drive. Of course. Water droplets are quite fine, that part of texture. This screen gives a slight problem in touch because it's not exactly a feather touch screen, so you need to drag a bit more than usual. As far as the environment is concerned, and the movement of the vehicle and other vehicles, for example, are very smooth with no lag whatsoever. We'll try to see in a closed environment. Smooth. Yeah, it's quite smooth all in all. Next, we'll try playing Asphalt 8 on the Xolo Q2000, and all our MediaTek processors in the previous devices have lagged in this game significantly, and even the Xolo 2000 you can see is no different. It lags majorly. But still it's quite drivable up till this point, although maneuvering the curves is slightly more difficult because it does not respond immediately. Yes, significantly yes, but it's not really unplayable as we've seen on some other devices having the same processor. But yeah, it lags significantly. Now the acid test Nova tree next. Let's check this out. And the movie is not exactly laggy. It is lagging, but not significantly. is doing a fairly good job so far. Decent enough. The problem usually comes during the gameplay. Good. Good, so it exceeded my expectations and it's really playing decent so far. There's not much lag. There are minor lags here and there. You can see even while you were sliding down, the minor lags, the minor, trying to skip frames, but in general I think it's doing a pretty good job. There. Yes, I think it's doing a pretty good job. Processor is performing pretty well till this point. I'm not a very good player of Nova. I'm not a very good player of any games basically, so I just played this just to test the graphics and stuff. But yeah, the Xolo Q2000 is doing quite well in the gaming department. Now check out some of our benchmark scores. Yep, so now would you buy this device? At about 17,000 or even 16,500, getting a 5.5 inch screen is any day a bargain. Now I know it's an Indian manufacturer, and a lot of other Indian manufacturers actually have their flagships priced at almost a similar level, although they don't have screens as big as this. You have Micromax's Canvas 4, which was similarly priced. Even the Canvas Turbo was priced just slightly more than this. You have a Titanium S5 Plus, and Titanium X is also coming shortly. You have some Lava handsets, and then you have some great handsets from Xiaomi, and some from even Xolo's own saddle. Now the thing is, if you just like this device for its screen size, because the display is quite good despite of having just an HD resolution, you can still go for this device. But then other than the screen size, I don't think this device really stands out in any other aspects, over the other devices. It's a big device, so for multimedia viewing experience it could be great. Not for gaming though, but watching videos, photos and movies and stuff, this would be great. For browsing it would be great, and this is typically for people who like a bigger screen at a price that won't burn the hole in your pocket. Thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel to keep in touch.